So we're starting this stream mid league because I couldn't get it working earlier. Um, I decided I wanted to stream today and then it didn't work earlier. They cast Ponder Shuffle. It's probably Doomsday. Like if I were to guess, like Underground Sea. We beat Reanimator round one, and then we lost to Post. Probably punted the game too. But not too concerned about that match. I probably punted game two. It's not, but I think if I played tighter or took my time, probably would win. There's an argument to be made. We actually no. We should just Ant maybe. Yeah, it looks like Ant. If they go for passive flames, they just get blown out. The reason why I'm clicking fast is to not give a tell that I have a disruption piece. Yeah, so it's over now. Yeah. We're playing the same league that we ended the trophy race with last season, namely the Force of Vigors in kind of the flex slots. Our opponent just asked, since when does Elves mainboard endurance? I told them I've been doing it for a while. Yeah, I like to call my deck Rock Control, given that I removed most of the what I feel unnecessary combo elements for more disruption. Actually, given this configuration, it might be better to keep the glimpses. Given that we don't have that much to bring in. Yeah, I think this is fine. Actually, now I remember. I thought about it. Why I don't like glimpse in these combo matches. You just want to play through the board. Shout out to Runcore too for the new template. This is his work. Our hand is not particularly great. Although I guess a visionary or a waterwood here instead of the glimpse is not really that much better. So maybe glimpse is fine. It's another payoff spell. If I had more cards to cut, I'd probably cut the glimpse for sure. But this configuration doesn't have as much, given that we are playing the Force of Vigors for the lands matchup. And yeah, pretty much for the lands matchup. It has applications for DNT and 8 cast as well, but that's not really what it's for. That's kind of like bonus. All right, they're landlocked or brainstorm locked and without lands. I think we just ramp here because we have natural order next turn. Originally, my line was gonna be visionary, um, but yeah, I think natural order here is just or turn 3 natural order protected from flusterstorm or whatnot is too good to pass. Yeah. I can go over the post matchup if anyone wants to go over it later. I didn't feel like playing through a tabernacle early on, so I used Wasteland turn 1 to hit their tabernacle. Later on, what ended up happening is they were able to. I wasn't able to draw into. Well, they had naturally drawn excavator that we didn't, account for. Essentially, we account for Green Sun, but not the excavator. And then, all right, they tapped out. I mean, they technically could have days, but so I'm just gonna play around that because I can. Like I don't want to get blown into like random things. Yeah, see, like if I'm greedy, I pitch the Shepherd just because of more mana, but there's no reason not to do it that way. Yeah, and then round 1 would be Reanimator. Yeah, so we didn't play around the naturally drawn excavator, and we had to. There was a decision I made to trophy the excavator, which meant I can't trophy the chasm later on. Perhaps you just ignore the excavator. Is the line, and or use the because it got quite annoying, right? We couldn't deal with the chasm, and perhaps the line is just to not spend the removal on the excavator, use the grist to kill it, and then eventually kill the reclaimer later. A couple of moving parts, but I didn't want to focus it too much on that. So this is a Delver opponent. They're typically like I think they're one of the better Delver players. I think. I think most people would probably be interested in this matchup, given that UR Temple is pretty popular at the moment. Um, I believe we are significantly favored though. Um, I don't want them to kill the Reclaimer. Um, Shepherd's like pretty good here too, so I'll probably leave with a Warwood. Although there's an argument to be made, you leave with a Shepherd so you can protect the Reclaimer. But then they can force the Reclaimer, right? We don't actually care about the Ragavan. Not gonna block. If they're smart, they hit the Reclaimer. Most people are tempted to hit the Shepherd. That's a little annoying. Alright, this is kind of annoying in the sense that we want to grow a Reclaimer, but We're gonna have to pass the turn, and then we don't have another fetch, so the wasteland is live. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna once upon a time for a land into so I can protect the reclaimer, and then they'll wasteland. That's fine, and then we're gonna be able to play the wirewood. Oh my god, we missed. Sure. Still probably okay, but we gotta fade a removal here probably. All right, they're on the aggro plan. Um, and Delver, ironically, the thing is, like, if they ban Ragavan, it just actually hurts the non-blue decks because we typically don't care about this card. So they get to play more relevant cards like Delver Secrets again, or just more removal or whatnot. Yeah, I don't. They've actually helped us this game, right? Like they had a exiled natural order and an arbor so far. We drew somewhat poorly. Like we like once upon a time, one of the rare misses right there. All right. We're gonna play around removal here. Not enough mana to glimpse yet. That bog is actually highly relevant. So I think the line here. So they can still bash us for 6. The channeler is going to be turned off. Ideally, will probably be priced into blocking the Ragavan. Um, if we bounce preemptively now, we can block. We'd have to block with something else, but then I think we just want to block with the Wirewood next turn. So I think that's probably fine. The bog is actually very relevant right now, like as a land drop too. If we can fade this iteration, whatever they hit off of it, like if it's not too bad, we probably win from here. So they have 2 bolts at least already used up. So, unholy heat. Okay, that actually is good for us. The reason being is now we can block with a reclaimer if they want to bash. Oh my god. Where, yikes, that was brutal. So they have gut shot in their deck. So I think we're probably priced into blocking. Not to mention, we draw another fetch land. Ew, we're just probably dead on board then. Let's see. Ooh, we're not dead. Had to get a little lucky. It's got to be Cradle here. Um, 3. Oh, we used up all 4 already. Yeah. Game 1 is a little bit harder than it used to be, because this does happen. Sometimes you just draw the wrong part of your deck. I do feel pretty favored post board though. I believe they know what we're on too. Ugh, not great, but I think we keep. Yeah, we didn't have mana to do everything. We needed to hit a Cradle. I think the part that cost us the game, Lang lands, is when we whiffed off the land with Once Upon a Time. We really needed to hit a land there, and the odds are like pretty high too. The problem is the card that is most good against other matchups is kind of bad in the Delver matchup, which is natural order. And you just hope not to draw that package at inopportune time, which we did. We drew the hoof, like when we need. Also when we missed off the glimpse or the double glimpse. What the heck just happened? How did they? Oh, the thing I don't enjoy about Delver though is like the deck kind of plays itself. I don't think it's very difficult to play. They just missed an attack. So like you can just steal a lot of wins just because the deck is, um, screws people off because of certain cards, Wasteland or Daze. But it's probably important to Legacy because of the combo decks, but maybe it's a little too strong at the moment. Not gonna block. Murktide? Yes. The Bulbo version is significantly better against us than the normal version. Sure. I think we probably lost this one based on like the way the what's it called, the submerge is like pretty backbreaking given our hand, which was a little weak. Some lists play in the sideboard. I think it's like two of or one of. But given the way this game lined up, it was like very bad for us. Like our hand was like borderline potentially mulling too. But I think I like to keep most hands because you don't want to mull typically. But I'm not sure we beat this regardless. Like this sequence of draws. Yeah, the Bobbles version is significantly harder against us. Actually, that was a mistake on my. I should hit my own graveyard there. I think they just missed an attack again. So they probably like multitasking or something. I don't think it matters though, just given how far we're behind. There's nothing in here we can draw to get out, by the way. Off to a pretty mediocre season so far. I believe this person is like on some combo deck. I think they were on like Reanimator or some graveyard deck. I think they like played Dredge a lot. Okay, there's the Reanimator. We need to be able to land Reclaimer in case they have a super slow hand next turn. So we're just gonna run that out. That's kind of annoying to have the Archon here. They probably the into mix, end step into man. That would have been funny if they. It would have been funny if they had the faithless looting hand. I have. I think that version is probably better in general because Urza Saga is really good, but worse versus us. And the reasoning is because DRC is like very good against us. Okay, we probably lost this game. Drop that. Like I don't think we can beat Archon of Cruelty game one or any Archon really. Yeah, I played it. So I played it against a lot. I think that version is worse against us because of DRC and yeah, or lack of DRC, I should say. Trophy's not great, but probably better than like a random draw one or hardwood. Not a fan of oof, because when it matters, you probably won, or if it's relevant. So I know the Zoomers are the ones that you know, started popularizing the blue red Sagaman decks. I think those are like better built because of the better mana base instead of splashing white for ending. Turns out Bolt and Holy Unholy Heat is like pretty good too. Um, I think you take the looting because that's what lets them dig. Yeah, they'll probably seize us, but that's fine. It's possible we just take seize there too. Okay, they play the pedal. Um, so I had to respect the entomb. That is not very good in my opinion. Actually, we should have fetched before that because we don't really want to draw the thought seasons there. Or actually, drawing with thoughts is not the worst because they have one in hand. Unless they drew us another reanimation spell. I don't like that play at all for them. Like, I think every time my opponent has reanimated my Minders, they've lost the game. I don't want, of course, announcers jinx myself, but oh, thank goodness they don't have the reanimate. So this is like hardly relevant. Like, we can't draw something in 6 turns, we deserve to. Not to mention we can eventually chump block. So we're not blocking here in case they have just to hold a bog. The 2 damage doesn't matter. Oh, that's an insane draw. Yeah, that's an easy choice, I think. I think we just leave the reclaimer up. Probably deck thinning is more important than the damage. Like life is not gonna matter. Yeah. So let's see if we can, make it 2-0 in this league against Reanimator. Like I had a conversation with Levi Sprung. I don't know if everybody out there knows who he is. He's like plays this deck a lot too, and he and I are under the belief we can beat Reanimator with a ley line now, which is like pretty huge for the deck, given that we don't have to spend additional spots. This is a mole, unfortunately. This is a little riskier because we don't beat Entomb. Yikes. I think this is too slow. Alright, this is fine. And probably pitch the natural order. Hey Romario, how's it going? Ooh, they have the turn one. This is the problem with not running leyline though. They don't respect that you have the what's it called? They don't have to play in removal for it. One thing also that I realized since I didn't play yesterday, I was streaming with on stream with Romario. Is I did forget. Yeah, so I was just getting to that Romario. I did forget that this is the beginning of the season, so people are like trying to get onto the trophy leaderboard. So there's like massive amounts of combo at the beginning of the season, and that's something I forgot because you don't see that as much during the middle and the late end of the season. I mean, you still see a lot of combo obviously in leagues, but not like the beginning of the season where people are just trying to get on the leaderboard, I guess. I think we're probably dead. I don't know if we want to give them information in case we run into them again in the future. Probably not worth it to be honest. Like it's gonna be hard to win from here. All right, we'll run it back. I'm just gonna adjust now. I think for the fact that there's a good chance we're gonna run into a lot of combo, and more than normal metagame. So, oops, let me. Oops, wrong one. I definitely still want this. We did beat Reanimator earlier, but again, like I don't want to just randomly lose these like Reanimator players who are not respecting Later on the Void, especially if they saw that I posted my list that I'm not running at the moment. Um, this is probably fine. Maybe a crop rotation instead of the force, but I think that's. Mm, yeah, let's just play. Did I cut the crop? Yeah, let's just play the crop. Yeah. I want to make sure we register the right list too. Yeah. Shout out to Ari too if he's still in the chat. But one of the famed modern reclaimer cabal that that worked with me and for the mocks last year. I definitely enjoyed our conversations in that chat. Some of it about Magic, some of it not, but definitely felt nice to be part of that chat. For sure. Reclaimer is probably my favorite creature in Legacy, and not Legacy, sorry, in Magic. But I mean, as it shows, right? I'm playing it in my Legacy deck too. It's too. The Flagstones interaction is pretty awesome. Hey Matzaball. Okay, we're running into the same player. I'm gonna assume you're talking about common matchups, like uncommon matchups. I think the one that like I was joking about actually to Ari earlier is I run into this Belcher player all the time in leagues, but that's not super common. Am I on the play? It's just I mean we can mold to endurance, but I don't think that's a great game plan. So I'm just gonna keep this. We have the one of endurance in the list, but I don't think mold to endurance is like reasonable. Out of the common matchups, I would say the hardest matchup is probably lands, and that's why we're running the Force of Vigor in the sideboard. Um, the easiest matchup is probably I would say like some kind of Bant Miracles list, like more than D&T even these days, because like D&T you can lose game one like now because you just have so many dead cards is the problem. Hey Levi, Levi is also another reclaimer gamer. And Levi and I are gonna do actually a stream pretty soon. His school permitting, schoolwork permitting, I should say. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Matsubal. The hardest and easiest matchups. I would say hardest maybe lands, and easiest maybe like some kind of ban or force you control. I love how you hid the endurance in case we play them again in the future. What do you mean by that? So something I've realized too is like against these reanimator players, if you present to them the line, the losing line, they'll find it. So I'm gonna try to play this game out actually, like contrary to popular belief that Crystal Brand should go the distance. Like I've won a lot of matches against reanimator players where I probably should have lost. That probably seals the deal though. Yeah, I think we're now pretty dead. Like we can beat a Gristlebrand if they don't know what to do afterwards, but Archon of Cruelty. Oh yeah, that's now the doors shut. So it's kind of good that we changed the sideboard too, right? Because like I said, I forgot how much reanimator there is at the beginning of the season, and like I we just adjusted, of course. We just adjusted accordingly. That's a tongue twister. Um, After finishing that first league. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, that's what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to reveal to them. That's like I have a bunch essentially, in case they don't know our list. So that's yeah. Glad to see that our that decision is hopefully gonna pay off. Nope. Yep. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, this is my celebratory league I get or stream after winning the. I'll take the. Huh. I don't really want them to take the endurance, but I guess I take the Intune. They can't reanimate for a while. Yeah, that's fine. Like we have like huge top decks. I think better than theirs to be honest. So I'm gonna play the percentages. But yeah, we won the. Not that I was going for it initially at least. But last season when I ran hot at the beginning, then I was like ahead in the trophy race, and then towards the end I ran hot again, so I figured, oh, I guess we can go for the 2x over second place, and then uh, luckily it came together. Looting. There's a ton of reanimator in leagues, which means I'm like I have a lot of practice against I guess against these decks. Yeah, I don't agree with this line. Okay, so it's either Gris or Green Sun for one. I feel like the Gris is just better. There's a sequence we lose there too, like something like Faithless looting into reanimation spell. So Gris is safer anyways. Also, if Ari's still on the chat, I would highly recommend this deck for him. I think he would enjoy it because there's a lot of play to it. Like there's a your decisions really matter with this deck. Probably I think, but more so than any other deck. Don't want to reveal that. I can't even cast it right now, so. The ideal now, yeah. See, I'm like, I think I would say I was 2-0 or whatever it was whenever they cast endurance, or they reanimate my endurance, and then now I'm like 4-0. Or probably more than that, to be honest. The ideal thing here is because they didn't see a ley line, and we just ley line them. I don't think we can pass this up though. All right, they're just mulling for the turn one because they think we don't have ley line. Yeah, see that. Endurance top deck would be great there. We might be dead. Oh, we hope they whiff here. Oh man, brutal. It's almost I'm almost tempted to go for the ley line there because they don't know we have it, but I think that's not great gameplay um, in general. So I think I'm still probably okay with keeping the Thoughtseize hand. I mean, they should probably. Actually, on second thought, maybe we mull that hand because we know that they're gonna mulligan aggressively for the turn one, or sorry, or the Chancellor protection, because we can just get the endurance and then play. And if they have the turn one, they have the turn one. Yeah, actually, I think I like going to six there, and because we have four endurances or two ley line, so turn zero hate is probably better than what is effectively turn one hate. So that's something to remember. If you see your opponent mulligan aggressively. Sure. I'm not sure why they did that, but I mean, I guess the damage could matter, but it's not probably not the reason why we win or lose. We actually have a lot. Well, no. I was gonna say we have a live draw, but they're gonna attack with next turn with Griselbrand. We're gonna have to hope they're gonna mind twist us with their unmask and grief effects, and then we just hope the following card is gonna be a natural order top deck, and then we steal that game this way. Hmm. That is pretty good actually. We lose our Gris, but I think we have to kill the Griselbrand here. We don't know what they. Wow. I cannot believe that just happened. That's pretty funny, actually. So, earlier it's almost foreshadowing, right? I said beating Reanimator players when they have Crystal Brand out. I'd be curious to know what they kept in their hand because I'm a little surprised there's no reanimation spell there. Like they went down. I mean, it's got maybe it's all lands that they had left, and they did take 8 off the reanimate, so that's part of it too. And they took another 2 off Thoughtseize. They probably kept the reanimate in hand, to be honest, thinking that they were going to attack with Griselbrand, and then we just top decked, a 5 outer or whatever in that case. Oh, appreciate that, Duchess. Yeah, I posted that and then I deleted my tweet because I couldn't get it working originally. But if he's out there, thanks to DCIT, who pointed out to me that I needed to post my new Twitch key, and that was what the issue was. We did not do well that first league because we just weren't prepared for what I forgot what the meta is like at the beginning of the season, which is just like all Reanimator pretty much. We played 6 matches so far and played Reanimator 3 times. And won 2 of them actually, but we lost to Posts and we also lost to Delver because we drew pretty poorly. Yeah, I love Reclaimer. I think, I'm obviously biased. I do think it is the second strongest creature potentially in Legacy. Um, any guesses what I think is the strongest creature in Legacy? I'd have it at first, but the reason why I don't have it at first is because it can't fit in a blue deck. And I think the power level between it and this other card is close enough. Speaking of the devil. So I'm assuming playing against some kind of blue-red tempo-ish deck. I think we really want to prioritize the Reclaimer and the Shepherd. So I'm just gonna lead with the Burst Flower. But yeah, I think me personally, and obviously I'm biased. I think the 2 best creatures in Legacy are Dragon's Rage Channeler and Elvish Reclaimer. Murktide's up there too. We haven't seen a beater, or what I mean by that is like a beat stick of that kind of speed and you know size with evasion ever, and not by a mile too. So I've definitely lost my share of fair games to just you know turn two Murktide and I just can't do anything about it. Or turn three and I'm on the draw and it happens to not you know be able to untap correctly, so to speak. I think here I'm gonna play for mana. I kind of want my Reclaimer to live too, but they're on white anyways. Or you can think of it as one mana Tormagoyf. I think they're trying to cheese out the aforementioned Murktide. Murktide is typically how we lose to Delver or these tempo decks. We can beat a DRC because of the endurances late game, and Ragavan is like kind of irrelevant. If we could untap, we're slamming the endurance here. I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad. Like, I've beaten a resolved Murktide plenty of times. But again, that's like typically like the Elves matchup, depending on where in history you want to look at, is typically favored against Delver. Some parts more than others, some parts less than others. Probably the worst time is like before the Reclaimer printing, and then like after printing of Dread Horror Arcanus. That's probably the worst the matchup was ever. And the best it was probably maybe after the like even the period before that where what is it called, when Deathrite was legal, and then yeah, when Deathrite was legal, I guess was probably when it was like really good. In recent memory, I think the best it was is probably before Modern Horizons 2, but after what is it called? After the banning of Dreadhorde. So kind of recent, I guess. Is pretty good. The Lurus era was actually very good for elves too. Like your lure, yeah. All right. Oh man, this is like a tough decision because if they have the days for the endurance, we just lose to the Murktide otherwise. But I think we have to go for it. Otherwise, we just lose to the Murktide. Yes, thank you. That actually probably just won the game, to be honest. Like they're gonna have to reload now and figure out how to fill up the yard now, and I don't think they can beat us in time before our like card advantage takes over the game. Like I think this might have just won the game. Actually, one card I feared a lot. I'm glad it doesn't see any more play, but it's hard to say how it would line up in this new meta with the Modern Horizons card. Is the whale? But before the printing of endurance, the whale was almost unbeatable for elves. Like if they attack with it, it's almost worse than our Dreadhorde, right? So they're gonna waste us here. mean, that's got to be what they're doing. All right. All right. So we're gonna assume they're gonna waste us, and then our best draw here is probably a land because we can just go Visionary Claimer. I can't imagine that they don't waste us here. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna lead with the Green Sun because we need the mana, and then lead with a Heritage because we don't care about it. EI is quite the card too. I think it's actually the card if you want to hit Delver the hardest. That's the card to ban. I because it's the most irreplaceable in my opinion. Although that new card that's coming out, it's pretty good too. It's a 2 mana Exile 2. I forgot what it's called, but it's something Impulse. Uh, do I care here? They can already cast the Murktide, so I'll probably just ignore. Reckless Impulse, yeah. I think that card is very good. And shout out to Jax who pointed that card out. It actually exile. You can cast it until the next turn, which is kind of insane. And I think, unfortunately, that may replace the iteration if iteration gets banned. Although not pitching the blue to force is a is a huge thing though. You can, but that's no different than it putting your hand though, right, Duchess? Like it kind of does the same thing. It's I think iteration is better just because it pitches in blue, but that card itself might be better in a vacuum. Main deck Narset. I feel like our opponent is pre-boarded against us. Oh, what am I doing? That's all right. Plays worse with Saga. Let me. What do you mean by that, Levi? I'm not disagreeing. I'm just not I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that. I should have actually reversed the order here because Narset, stopped their draw. Oh, sure, sure. Well, actually, doesn't it play better with Saga because you can do it the next turn, right? If that's what you mean. Also, there's a big difference between Dig 2 and Dig 3. 3 is bigger than 2, and in this case, choosing 2 of 3 is actually very huge. I can see that card seeing play for sure in like Ruby Store and like off the bat too. Exactly, that's what I mean by Levi. So, I mean, I was gonna mention this when we streamed Levi, but or just for the public, I guess. Typically, there are two players who, probably are associated with Reclaimer Elves just as much as me. I think the two players are York, Aaron Relentless, and then Levi as well, Leviathan. Jorg, or people I trust the most because they play the deck. Jorg has the most experience, but I think Levi, for the public, probably thinks the most like me in terms of how the deck is built and how to approach the matchups. So if you're trying to learn the deck and can't get a hold of me for whatever reason, or just or Levi, he's probably the second best option because he thinks like me, like I said. But either of them would be good options to ask. And I think it's because Levi and I have communicated a lot because over the past year because of modern too. I don't think we block here. I think we gotta get the Narset off the table. Yeah, so Levi has also knows how I think not only with this deck but just in general how to build decks because from what I understand at least, Levi and I were the first ones to put four explorers in the green white reclaimer deck, and then that eventually became the stock. Um, I don't think we're winning if we trade here. Yeah, see, DRC is the card that it probably scares me the most. Yeah, Jacob definitely did it first, but then his build was like, so I got the idea from Jacob, but his deck was significantly different from ours though. Like he ran Summoner's Pack and things like that. And then I already was contemplating about doing it, but then that essentially pushed me over the edge to put the four explorers in. And then Will Kruger also adopted it, pretty quickly after that. And then the rest is history, right? Like that deck became a killer against 4C Euro pile at the time. Yeah, main deck Ramonette, just because it's like a card advantage engine. Like part of me still like every once in a while gets the itch to play Ramonette even in Elves. Yeah, this card is pretty messed up. It is the card I'm probably most afraid of out of Delver. Again, I don't think we're winning if we block. Alright, we're just dead. Alright. That did not go well. So, little secret about Elves. I have been losing a lot of game ones to these UR piles, so to speak, lately. And the reason being is because I mentioned this a little earlier in the stream. The card that is best against other decks, specifically natural order, is a huge liability in this matchup, and I just have to hope not to draw any of the cards from the natural order package. Or we didn't there, and then I think were they on the play? Yeah, they were. Yeah, I think that is typically how we lose the game. Like if we're just under too much pressure and just draw the wrong cards. Post war, I think it gets a lot easier. Yeah, it's Elves is in a little bit of awkward spot because we kind of need the natural order package to beat the other decks, but it's a liability here. Not to mention, I mean, we've never come close to cutting the card before. It's just like the problem is one of the decks that's good against. So Levi and I talked about this. one of the decks that is good against Delver besides Elves. Um, okay, let me think how I want to sequence this. Probably the Birch Lore is lands, and unfortunately, historically, Elves has had a hard time with the lands matchup. And while we can, I'm currently working on fixing the addressing that matchup right now. But it's a little bit awkward because if you think about a winner's metagame, you think about elves, you think about depths, you think about lands, and while elves can beat depths, it does struggle against and it beats DNT too, but it does struggle against lands. So that is something I want to fix. Uh, I think here we just leave with a shepherd and pass. Uh, Agreed on all accounts. What Levi said. So DNT, the reason why it's not as good as it once was is because the game one, at least with this configuration, is like very losable. Like it's 50-50 almost. Because you have so many dead cards against them. Like the Shepherd doesn't do anything. Neither does Bog. Neither does Endurance. Archon's like pretty bad. So it is like probably 55-45. Like you're maybe slightly a favorite, but not by much. It's like very losable, especially if they know what you're on, and like will mulligan aggressively. Um, Post board you should be significantly favored, especially if you're playing the Force of Vigors. But yeah, not as good as it once was. And the depths matchup, while good, it's not great like the DNT matchup. So like again, you can lose it depending on the hand. You most likely will lose a game one too. Maybe they held removal. Actually, I'm fine with that. I'm just gonna run out the endurance here. Typically speaking, if they're iterating without a board, you probably won. Like iteration's scary if they have DRC or Murktide, but not as scary if they just don't have anything, right? it's funny. I'm just gonna dig for lands. Visionary. That is actually a solid draw. Another reason why I think Once Upon a Time is like very underplayed is sometimes mid game you just want to impulse for land against Delver, um, and it's like game saving potentially. It used to be miserable. That's actually a great question. It used to be miserable, but I mean, I try not to disclose like some of my findings, but I'll disclose it here, I guess. I believe we're favored now, and I flipped the matchup because of how I've changed the sideboard. Um, and it's this card here that has, in my opinion, flipped the matchup. You'll lose game one, no doubt, just like you lose typically game one to combo. And games two and three, I think we are now favored because you just get Shepherd or Green Sun. A plus B, right? A is Shepherd or Green Sun. B is Trophy or Endurance, and you pretty much lock up their combo. Like it's your Dark Ritual, Doomsday, and you have 8 copies of each. And ever since I had that breakthrough, I think I've personally flip the Doomsday matchup. Like, if he's on or watches this later, Max Gilmore and I joked. I paired into him recently, and I mulled to 4 post board game too, and he ribbed me a little bit because he's like, "Oh, you should try keeping 7 like I did," and then I proceed to win on the mode of 4. Granted, drawing well, and then I win again game 3, and then he kind of knows too, but he likes my list the way I built it, but he agrees the elf matchup is not what it once was, which was pretty much unlosable for Doomsday outside of the deck, losing to itself before. All right. We have a possible Murktide coming down here. We do have the Assassin's Trophy. I'm trying to think what I want to do here. I think I just continue to chain endurances, to be honest. And main phase, obviously, to play around their stuff. I hate being inefficient with my mana. Like, and the Reclaimer there, I think, is not as big as landing their endurance. And just you don't want them to land endurance and then have the force up for your trophy, right? Like you want them to force the endurance. Like in general, like Murktide has, and to an extent before the whale, has changed how elves and other decks need to interact with the graveyard for Delver. Like before, Tormagoyf, it's just a 4 or 5 against chump and stuff, but now you kind of have to like, keep their graveyard at bay, which is like a lot of stress on non-green decks or non-white or non-green decks. Because green you have Reclaimer Endurance, white you have STP, so their stuff doesn't go to the yard. I think black is in a rough spot. I think a lot of people have already mentioned that, so that I'm not saying anything new there. Red obviously is paired with blue, and so is white because of ending and STP. This game is probably over. Our opponent is shuffling, like figuratively and literally, I guess. They might be new to the deck too, or stream because they're like significantly behind us on clock. Another reason why the natural order package isn't particularly great against these tempo or blue red decks. Rumcore did. His name is Inigo. I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly, but Rumcore is his handle. Twitter he goes by a different one, his real name. But yeah, I appreciate him doing this new overlay for me. It's not even like fully done too, but it's like super impressive already. No way they. I mean, they may trade just to buy some life, but I mean, it's not great. They probably don't trade. I don't know. Like I don't see them winning from here. Like it had to be STP, like Clasm or something, and even then, they're just like. I like to joke with Jax before, especially when Endurance first got spoiled. It's funny too because I was like skeptical of the card, then I was high on the card during spoilers, and then when it got released, I was down on the card. I was like, man, this card loses to everything. And then the big, no, that was a pun, accidental pun, but a Freudian slip. But the big breakthrough in the deck, why I started winning a lot and ultimately won the trophy race was because I realized Oh, endurance should be thought of as a card in the fair slot, not the unfair. Like you can't replace Leyline of the Void. It's just a lot weaker, and people, if they know you're on endurance, can play around it easily. But when you're taking removal and replacing it with endurance, your combo matchup just gets so much better. And then, I mean, any green deck or not any green deck, I probably would advise looking into that. I published an article on Patreon, but I think when you pair endurance with leyline, it's like a nightmare for combo. And like I think my combo matchup is the best it's ever been, and I think that it's because of this card. So shout out to the depths people out there or the Maverick people. Might be something for you guys to look into. That's just free advice, I guess. Yeah, it's like a nightmare, right? You have four reclaimer, four endurance. That too. So, all right, it's not gonna matter, and we might not even have to show the assassin's trophy. Yeah, so typically in the past, I mean, I know I like to sometimes torture, graveyard players. I apologize. Like four Leyline of the Void or three Leyline of the Void, something, drastic like that. But you can cut to like two, even if it's like heavy in the metagame. And then like the thought that you could have is what it matters, right? Like, are they gonna keep a hand that just folds to your potential two of Leyline of the Void? And like, if they are willing to accept those odds, then you're gonna just cheese them every once in a while. And if they don't, then you can easily get them with just endurance or reclaimer or thoughtseize, right? Like that is the logic behind that. I forgot what I was gonna do. Oh, we're just gonna keep the same. Eee. This is like almost a mold of five already. I mean, I guess this could be a land, but not really what I want. I think it's a little. It's kind of not a little. It's kind of slow. Man. We are on the draw, so we have two draws. I'm like greedy. I tend to be a little greedy with my keep, so I'm just gonna keep. It's like very shaky though. Can easily loses the game. They mull too, so that helps. In general, like elves, I don't. I'm like more risk averse into mulling because the deck doesn't mull well. It top decks well. It doesn't mull well. Like you need a critical mass of cards. That's actually pretty decent draw. I think we just take that. We can't just do nothing turn one. The bog is actually really good here because we're gonna probably bog on turn three, and it's gonna shut off their Murktide while turning on our Grist and our Assassin's Trophy. They made timeout too. I didn't even realize how low they were. Containment freeze, yeah, not the best against my hand. Our line here is almost certainly going to be visionary into block if they attack. Let's check on some NBA games. I know the Clippers played today. I wonder if they're winning right now. It's my NBA team. Ooh, it's 5 minutes left. They're up three. They interesting. I'm for sure blocking. That is, oh my god, that's a very interesting, curious play by them. So the interesting thing here is they can get a Murktai, but it's not great. I'm just gonna chance another turn. All right. Yeah, they're playing against the Heat. Jimmy Butler's not playing though. He got hurt in yesterday's game against the Lakers. Yeah, unless you have a follow up DRC, I highly disagree with trading there. Like, it's almost like a gift for me, right? That better have hit land because they are looking really shaky right now. I think they might. They're just like in danger timing out too. All right. I don't think we can afford to get greedy here. It's probably bomb time. We're just gonna run out another visionary. If they want a dazer or whatever, they can. That smells like containment priest now. So I'm just gonna bog and pass. Like if you develop your mana and get to turn four without being like critically under duress, you probably won. I think this game is over. I know the board is like not much, but they're just so far behind from where they should be. Hopefully we can win before. I don't want to win on a technicality here. I think we can actually win without the clock. It almost feels like they have a sweeper too, based on the way they've been playing. So I'm just gonna go, slam Gris. They want to force if they can, and then we can slam Reclaimer next turn, like through Pyroclasm type effects. Yeah, so we're gonna slam down Reclaimer, and that's probably game right there. Sure. Yeah, I mentioned that a little bit earlier, Duchess. Like the clock is definitely the big signal that they're probably a new player. So hard to get mad at your opponent. Also, I kind of what is it called? They also said the fame high good luck, and they're not like a chalice or combo player. So I take it they're probably new. Usually when I see high good luck have fun, I think they're like a reanimator or something. But given that they're not, this is why I assume they're probably a new, not new, yeah, newer player. We minus here. We leave it in bolt range, but I think they're playing white removal. We saw like ending earlier, so I think we can safely tick down and kill the DRC. What's going on? Oh sure. So I played the fetch because twofold. I want to be able to grow the reclaimer out of pyroclasm, and it actually protects the arbor from pyroclasm. So it's twofold, right? It's the same reason, but for two different angles, so to speak. I don't think we're gonna be able to kill them before they clock out, though. Like, it's gonna take us 2 turns because we're gonna get the cradle, and then we're gonna pump. But I don't know if they're gonna beat this clock. Oh, I think I used it already. Wait, where's the bog? Yeah, I did already use it. Oops. That is a misplay. I don't think it matters, but that is definitely a misplay by me. Sure. Alright, now we just bash, I think. Probably not. I'm like tempted to hit their land here, but there's really no reason to. If I'm playing tighter, I probably don't play the arbor there too because there's no need. I'm just trying to win before the clock. We'll find out. We'll find out right now. Actually, if they're playing basics. Actually, I should do this end step in case they have a pop. If in case they have it. My guess is no, but you never know because they're on 3 colors. It's gonna take 2 turns, yeah. And I don't think we're well, yeah. I don't think we're gonna get there. Oops, I had lethal. Clicked it too fast. It's possible they find STP here and they buy another turn, but I mean, it's on me. Oh, jeez. Did they just choke the game? Okay, they're up. Okay, they're up. Thanks for the update. I thought they were the 106. But yeah, Miami has outscored them this fourth quarter. But they are playing without Jimmy Butler. All right. I will take a quick restroom break and be back shortly. So again, here's the transition that what's it called that Runcore made for me. And welcome back. Looks like there's 11 seconds left in the game, according to Google. Actually, I should get some water while that's queuing up. It is a Herman Miller. Yeah, I got it from work, so that was pretty nice. Or sorry, I think it's a Herman Miller. I forget. It was that or this other brand that I don't remember. But that sounds pretty familiar, so I think it is. Does help. Like I don't have great posture, so surprisingly long queue time here. Maybe that means there's reanimators went to bed. I'll bring up my deck list right now for those who are curious. We changed up the sideboard a little bit after the first league because I was gravely reminded that at the beginning of the season, people like to play a lot of turn one decks because they want to be on the leaderboard early, I guess. And so I would imagine things like Oops and Reanimator are going to be real popular in like the next week, or maybe not the week, maybe the next few days, until things, well, at least even by league standards. This person is typically on Urza Echo when I play against them. I don't know whether on the moment they've been on. Like I'm just gonna keep in the dark. It varies. Anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, I think. Like keep in mind, it might be longer for me because the way I built the deck is more controlling too. So, I don't know what it is for a normal elf player, but I think for me, anywhere from 1.5 to 2 hours. It's probably like 1 hour 45 or something like that, if I were to guess. So there are, speaking of the elf mirror. Yikes. I think we're probably gonna lose this game. If I knew what they were on, I'd probably mold this hand, to be honest. Sure. I'm just gonna yield. So there is they're down up one now. The card that matters, the number one thing that matters in my opinion is going first. The second most important card thing that matters is who has natural order, or specifically on turn three. Glimpse is like can matter, but you kind of have to have like 4 or 5 relevant cards in hand, specifically Heritage Druid and maybe Cradle even, right? And then like Nettle gives you a small edge there if you have both pieces already. But the thing that typically matters, in my opinion, is who has turn three natural order. So going first matters, and having the natural order in hand matters. Green Sun for acceleration matters too. Obviously the Cradle, but like I mean those are like typically the key cards. Natural Order and Cradle. And then post board, obviously, if Natural Order matters, taking it is almost as good, right? So Thoughtseize is very good. Uh, what ends up happening, the games play out a couple different ways, but typically most games will play out where one person has turn three natural order and the other person can't stop it, and that's probably game. That is pretty bad in my opinion. All right, so the good thing is, oh, that's kind of annoying actually. Actually, does anybody know how this works? I forget. If the Arbor dies in combat, does Reclaimer statically survives or no? I think I tried it in the past and it dies. Is that how it's supposed to be? How that interaction is supposed to work? Yeah. So maybe it was just bugged before because I swear like my Reclaimer died one time when that happened. Hopefully it's no longer bugged, but we'll see. Yes, Death Shadow player would know for sure. I think it's probably. Oh, okay. We're just dead, so it doesn't matter. And they should have two hooves, I believe now. Like if they got the first one, is hoof. Oh, that's a good point. Although they're gonna be huge here though. Like it's gonna be more than a 6/6, so it would be dead anyways. Yeah, I. It's too bad. It was so long ago. I can't even file for reimbursement because I don't even remember when it happened. What's going on here? But oh, so I don't know if Ari caught it earlier, but I mentioned I think you would like this deck actually because it's very skill intensive and rewards or punishes, correct or incorrect sequencing. So So I think you would like this deck if you want to be rewarded or punished by correct or incorrect plays. Urza Saga does seem like like a deck that rewards or punishes sequencing more too. I think here I have to block, so I'm gonna fetch first. The question is what to block with. Probably the Birch Lore. That is real good. We can't attack, unfortunately. Like, well, yeah, probably not. I wonder what they have in their hand that they maybe they have the Archon or something. Like, why would they natural to there for like nothing? Or the hoof, maybe they drew it. So we're just dead here. It's like a million. Yep. So our just like against the I kind of hinted at against DNT matchup earlier. Against non-blue in general, our configuration is kind of not good game one. Thanks, no problem. Glad you were able to stop by. No problem. Anytime you want to, talk about, Green Sun decks or anything even related to, it doesn't have to be elves, obviously. Green Sun, Once Upon a Time, any of these, core cards and green strategies, or even outside. Let me know, Duchess. Always a pleasure. The Reclaimer should die in the art. Ah, okay. So then it was correct then that one time then. Now I don't feel as gypped from that one time it happened where there's been times too where like I am in the situation where it comes up and I just don't do it because I just assumed that it was correct that one time. This feels kind of slow. So our opponent said, "Oh, they LOL, they drew a visionary." Yeah, I think we mull this. This feels slow to me. Ugh. Maybe I should have kept that. This is significantly worse. It'd be fitting we lose to the mirror here. They mulled to 6 at least. I think we just lead with a green sun and then just hope to draw well from there. Yeah, for sure, Levi. So the reason why in the mirror I don't Thoughtseize turn one, which like I typically do in the combo mirror, is because um what is it called? They can't kill you turn one, unlike other combo decks. Nice. They just got stranded. two Thoughtseize is. I think the card that matters here is actually Waterwood in case they get the top deck Green Sun. I don't think we want to trade. So they have two dead cards in their hand. I think we just play it. The reason why is the land, the deck thinning, I value. Mismatch. That is a big no-no. The other thing this does is natural order is lethal now by me playing the fetch. Better safe than sorry. Okay, that's fine. You don't like the hoof could matter down the road if that's what they drew. Yeah, that's fine. I think the damage is hardly relevant. Like that, you rather decked in. So I'm getting the fetch, but I'm not gonna fetch the Bayou because I don't want to run out of fetchables. So this is like something that's kind of fringe that it comes up every once in a while. Um, well, actually, that's not true. We can still do that because we can just start pitching the cradles. So, but something to keep in mind. All right, there's the life doesn't matter again. I want to pitch the force there. Both sides are kind of flooding. It's kind of taking over the game now. Like our quality top decks are going to be much better than theirs. I stand corrected. We can't leave anything in hand because of Thoughtseize. Ooh, they're in the tank. That's not good. They probably drew Green Sun maybe? 4, 6. They're one short. Actually, no, they have lethal for 8. We have a lot of live top decks. Just need to draw them. There it is. Alright. All right. We're probably a slight dog in game three because we're on the draw. Like I said, whoever goes first typically wins. Did they go first? Get this? No, we went first, but we didn't know they were on elves, and if we had, we probably molded hand. So we had the first criterion. We're going first, but we didn't have the natural order, so that's kind of defeats the purpose. I think we keep because the Thoughtseize is here, right? And unlike our opponent, we're gonna lead with him turn one because we're on the draw now. They mode a five. Maybe. Well, we do know that they have Thoughtseizes, so maybe they just didn't open well. I'm just gonna yield. Yeah, see, I don't necessarily agree with when you're on the play. I would lead with a creature in the mirror, um, uh, for the reasons I just said. Right, they can't kill you turn one, unlike the other combo decks. Nor do they have brainstorm to protect whatever they have, like Allurin or something. Man, that is respect for Elvish Reclaimer. I think we want our Thoughtseizes to be live because they only have three cards. I'm gonna do what I just said not to do because I'm a little afraid of them just stranding our what is it called? Stranding our Thoughtseizes. I think here the Ranger. Like they're missing land drops. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Both are we drew better though. All right. Better now than like again. We don't want to be in a position that our opponent was in the previous game where you just have dead discard in your hand. Dismiss all. Nope, we are not making that trade. All right, we're just gonna glimpse for value here. I think I probably feel really good about this game now. I mean, it did help that we. To be fair, they also mold. If they attack, I'm like tempted to block. Huh. Yeah. I'm gonna block one. I don't think we care about the Shepherd. Because they have fewer resources than we do. Like, I don't think they should attack there. Similar to how we did not attack the other game, whatever it was. Well, that's kind of an insane draw. I'm just gonna pass. It'd be criminal right now if they drew the Visionary. They didn't. That's why they're attacking with a Wirewood. We're not probably trading with this. Because we're going to glimpse, right? We're going to win the game now. The aggro plan is not going to get there. I'm sorry. That's kind of a insane draw, too. All right. This probably seals it. It's it depends if they want to concede or not. They should not trade. The crop rotation is just a fifth grade on this case, for those of you curious. And now we're gonna just really start to apply the pressure with the our aggro attack. All right, that's just game. Excuse me. All right, so far so good this league. It's everybody loves a comeback story, right? Nice. The Clippers ended up closing the game out. Levi, are you if you're still there, do you still follow the Seahawks even though you're in school right now? I know it's been a rough year for them, but Russell Wilson's coming back. Should be a good match, potentially. Yeah, yeah. The injuries, the some of the other stuff, the draft picks is what set you guys back. If Jonathan were here, he'd complain the Rams are net decking, right? Like just stockpiling all the best talent. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I a couple years ago I got Red Zone and I play fantasy sports or football. They are playing the good cards. They're the filthy blue. Let me see if that command is still here. Yeah, that Jamal Adams trade is albatross at the moment. But yeah, Rams are the filthy playing Euro pile, 4C, greed everything, right? Speaking of playing the good cards, that's kind of what I subscribe to when I'm building elves. Uh, I mean, at the end of the day, I'll admit, like, for most of the duration when I was of me playing elves, I never thought elves was the best deck. I just enjoyed it. There's been times where I thought, and I only justify it, me playing it with one, I'm just having fun anyways, and two, it does have a good matchup historically against the consensus number one deck in the format. Only recently, and I know leagues are noise, but only recently I did convince myself Elves is at least the second best deck in the format. I think anytime my opponent I know I don't think they're on this, but anytime my opponent like auto snap most of four, I'm always petrified they're on some kind of combo deck. Yeah, I'm grouping the two, blue red decks together for simplicity. And the reason why I would give them the heads up still against Elves over Elves as the top consensus deck, even though I'm obviously biased, is because, and Levi and I have talked about this. Elves has a habit of getting got by the randomest decks that you don't metagame for, or just not even metagame, just don't have in mind when building the sideboard. Looks like Shadow. Yeah. And what I mean by that is, I think I mentioned earlier in our, OG modern reclaimer chat. I have a habit of losing to the Belcher player a good amount of time, and unfortunately, Legacy is a pet format. So you play the decks that you enjoy, and what was I gonna say? I think I just want to fetch here. Like people will play decks even if they have they're poorly positioned in the metagame because they want to have fun, which is fair. The more competitive the metagame, so to speak, the better I think Elves gets, and in that scenario, I think Elves is actually often a better choice than Delver. Oof. Um, Results, yeah, I see what you're saying, Levi. The problem is also it's a little misleading because what was I gonna say? They also have a lot more pilots, like because I don't think Elves has many pilots at the moment. The difficulty of the deck does scare off a lot of people. I'm not gonna attack because they're on Shadow. The deck building thing is a little fair. I think while it took a while for Elves to get to the final form, so to speak, post Modern Horizons 2, I think we are probably getting close to that now. I mean, unless there's another breakthrough that I'm like not foreseeing. That is interesting. So 4, 5, 6, 7. We're a little short. I'm just gonna pass. I think. That's. I'm not gonna dispute that. Although I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I don't know enough to gauge yet. Like I think Elves has a good amount of free wins too. Like Natural is a pretty dumb card. They are most likely going to waste us here, but we shall see. The most free win in. Wait, what just happened? Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Stifle? Jeez. Alright, that is aggressive. Yeah, that's fair. That is definitely fair. Oh my god, I whiffed. I guess I get a cradle. Not happy about it though. Oh, come on. Let me have my fun. I think based on what you said, that's probably true. Yeah, that maybe they do have more free wins. I would have to play both. Eight cast is one of the decks I have not played personally, so it's hard for me to gauge how many free wins they actually have. Let's see if they stifle this. I think I just bog here preemptively. And then I'm going to get the other arbor. The thing about elves, though, even if if you're talking about free win cards, it's just the natural order, right? Some people don't know how to play against the deck, so there's that aspect too. I think I'm just gonna play everything to protect around discard. It actually might be time to start playing shadow. I mean not shadow. Attacking. I was gonna say. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start attacking. Well, I was supposed to fetch, but it might have worked out for me. Yeah, we are playing against a modern deck. Stubborn Denial. I think with that many Wildwood, you just start bashing. I think they're just dead. I was playing super conservatively, obviously. Yeah. Okay. This is one matchup I don't play enough, so I don't remember exactly how I sideboard. So it's good to have it prepared. I'll bring it here just so everybody can see. This is typically what I do. Seems like I bring in the Assassin's Trophy, which makes sense. Take out the Endurance, take out the Oof, take out the Bog, which all makes sense. And I keep in the natural order. I think I reasoned before is they're gonna have Plague Engineer for sure post board, and I think we just do not want to. We want a way to win through it. Crop. Hmm. Do we want that against? Like discard is like tempting to because you can just take their Plague Engineer, but I don't know if that's like the best. Let me think about that for a second. Might be better than the Assassin's Trophy actually. Although I've seen Liz playing Murktide now, so that's probably just more flexible. This is not. Yeah, I think discard might be actually. I'm gonna adjust here actually on the fly. I think I want. I don't really want to keep in heritage against them when I know they're running sweepers. Probably keep in the bog too because I think they're running Murktide. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I haven't played this matchup enough, like in its current iterations on both sides. And this is kind of good, right? Like we got to test how the Thoughtseizes feel here. I feel like these black decks just like want to just like quad engineer or something. Maybe a brainstorm here, or days, or something. Yeah. Maybe they waste us here. That's kind of good too. Like we have kind of a heavy hand. Force. Push and brainstorm. I don't think we actually care about the push. The seize is a little annoying though because they can seize. Well, if they seize the glimpse, they don't seize the visionary. Um, I did, yeah. So I'm in the tank right now. Do I take the brainstorm or do I take the seize? I am tempted to actually take the seize actually. Like I think I want that visionary to live. Or to be able to cast it, I should say. Like we're trading card for card here. It's almost like a control mirror. Got ejected. If they top deck the days, we live with it. Ooh, that's very good. Wow, that's really good. I think we can wait another turn. If they want to daze this, they can. Engineer here is a little bit scary if they found it, but it is what it is. Interesting play. All right. So it's we know they have the push. It's what we care about, right? Do we care about the reclaimer? Or do we care about the symbiote? And I actually think we care about the reclaimer because, well, if they force it, actually no. I think we care about the symbiote. I take that back because we want to start the recursion, right? We're not gonna attack. I don't want to grow their whatever for no reason. Ooh, that's pretty nasty. All right, we have to start pressuring that, unfortunately. So. We don't have any more fetchable, which is the awkward part. But what we can do is, um, sure, we can green sun for Gris. Oh man, never mind. That is like very good against us. Yeah, I don't know how I like Thoughtseize this game. Like, it just didn't seem that great. Like, so if that was a trophy, actually, it's even worse, right? So maybe it was fine. Yeah, that thing is taking over the game. Perhaps, actually, we can go with the mid-range endurance plan. I kind of want to test that, to be honest. They have Delver too. Okay, that's more reason to board in endurances. Like, I don't love C's in this matchup. It does also stop potentially Murktide if they are running that. Ugh, that's a dead fetch. They're almost like a reverse control deck, right? I definitely like natural order against these black decks though, especially if they don't have bolt. How's TV?
Fine.
Clippers won. That might get forced. Yep. I think we're losing this game now. We took like a million from the Thoughtseize too. Let me think about this more. Possible we just, based on what we are seeing right now, we just board as if, what is it called? Oh, there's the engineer. As if they're Delver. And just answer their engineer when need be. I kind of like that. Because we see Wasteland, we see Days. So I'm going to adjust again on the fly. We're just dead, yeah. Like, we don't even have 4 mana here, right? So natural order doesn't even get there here. So I will adjust accordingly now, based on how I felt. And they are playing Delver, so... So I think this is where we want to be. This is not bad. Keep. This bog's like randomly good. If we think they are on Murktide. We're gonna play it safe here and just get a basic force. I don't know if they run basics or not. So trophy will be interesting. Snuff out. The cheese play here is to hit their land, right? That'd be pretty gross, actually. They'd probably take the endurance of the Clims. I can't imagine they take the trophy. Oh, okay, there we go. Maybe they know what we're up to. It feels pretty loose here to go to a trophy their land, but maybe that's the correct play. Sure. I think I. Man, I don't want to do that. I think I have to hold the heritage still. Actually, no. I want to do it now. I'm gonna endurance next turn no matter what. That's kind of be engineering, yeah. It looks like we're gonna have to try to beat this engineer without getting it off the board, which is gonna be very hard. Jesus. Could be our first loss. We kind of wish we had the hand from the last game against them. Like it was almost reversed, right? I want to main phase it in case they draw something relevant. The second one actually can do it to us, which is nice. And then we can shuffle back into Assassin's Trophy. This is a little awkward though. Yikes. Actually, I'm gonna hard cast it now. I need this to resolve. Yikes. Nope, not gonna get there. So let me think about this. Endurance didn't feel good against this card, but the game was probably lost when we tried to hit the engineer. Sorry, hit the land with the trophy. So we got a little greedy. Kind of want to watch that again. The problem with Dotsies in this matchup is like eventually the game kind of goes long, and they may eventually just draw into the engineer, and you don't. Yeah, it doesn't line up well with their shadow too. So I don't think I'm a fan of that. So they seized here, and see, I think the play there is probably the Heritage Den. So we can't even cast the Endurance here. And then they engineer here. It wouldn't have mattered, yeah. Alright, our opponent is on Reanimator. This is our first opponent of the night, so we remember. Um, Question is, do we assume they're still on Reanimator? Probably, I would guess. The problem is we're probably losing against Reanimator regardless. And we're on the play. Actually, on the play, Reclaimer maybe gets there. So I'm gonna mull. Endurance is good too. If we're on the draw, I'd probably keep it just because we probably lose regardless if they're on Reanimator. Gotta deck then. So I'm hoping they don't have the turn one. That's why I mull to Reclaimer. If, again, like I said, if they were on the draw, I'd probably just keep and hope they're on a different deck. And here we just steal game one now, right? Against Reanimator. That's a very good draw. So we're just ramping. Like, we're hoping to top deck Natural Order at some point. And then we're just going to continue to leave Reclaimer up. We can potentially just blow. Ooh. Sure. Natural Order? Yeah. I was gonna say we potentially just shut off all their Lotus Petal here too with the main deck collector oof, which is not usually good against them, but now will be. So we can go for it if we draw a green pitch. Oh, that is awkward. God, dang. I don't think we can afford to reveal that we've drawn the bog. So I'll just pass. Because if we reveal that we've drawn the bog, it shields down. We cannot do that. Like, if they have a discard spell, we just lose, right? Do we thin here? Like is Cradle a good draw here? Probably. So we don't. Actually. Hold on. So Levi mentioned something. What in the world is going on? We lose to a discard spell either way, so may as well remove the out of sacking children to therapy as well as yeah, that's probably fair. I know I thought I bashed, but I could be wrong. I didn't want I wanted to hold up endurance pitch is why I didn't do that, if I recall correctly. But Levi has a fair point about the losing to discard anyways. If they see that you have the bog in hand. Actually, I should have pitched this. I should have pitched the force here so I can fetch. I misclicked. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're at one off. I remember. Okay, they're on some other whack list. So like, yeah, I think here it actually matters to not give them information because they have to spend the 1 mana to thought seize us. They don't know we have the hoof, so now it's lethal. Uh, yeah, so what I meant to say was typically I don't reveal the bog when what is it called? I don't reveal the bog if I don't want him to just go for it. But in this case, it was unique because I had the endurance in hand, and that they knew about, so they had to discard anyways. Is the difference between this and normally because if they don't know you have the endurance, then they will go for it if you play the bog. Whereas in this case, they know you have the endurance, so they cannot go for it. Yeah, this is they're on this War Gorger Dragon like Dance of the Dead combo deck. So the Force of Vigors, which not here, but the Leyline's even better, was relevant the first time I played against them. Don't want them to reanimate that. Oof was actually good there, but or potentially decent there, but in general we don't want it. And here we just have a lot of cards now, so we can actually bring out the glimpse package. And what just happened? Too many cards. Oh, I hate this glitch where yeah, I guess I clicked too fast or whatever, and they register it as not having been removed. Um, quick comment about the previous match that we lost. This is keep. Shadow tends to be the hardest, tempo-ish variant for elves. By the way, for those of you who want to beat elves and don't want to play Delver, that's probably the better choice. The reason being is Plague Engineer and Thoughtseize are both really good. I say I'm still elves is still favored, but not by much. It's like fairly even, to be honest. Yes, it seems like Ari knows exactly what I'm referring to. It's like super annoying. Like then I get confused, right? Because you have to figure out what's the difference, and then I don't want to like restart the computer either. There's like the other that issue. Oh, they're just conceding because of the late line. All right, not bad. Like we went 4-1. We lost to Shadow, which is fitting, I guess, because Ari's here. Uh, but I think the way it played out, I'm not sure it would have mattered. Like if even we sideboarded differently. Um, I think if you know Reanimator is gonna be like really popular, you probably want the ley line. But it's you can't beat everything. You kind of have to pick, right? Like if a deck can beat everything, obviously it's probably should be banned or get something banned. But um, typically you have your choice, right? Do you want to be the graveyard, like pretty consistently like we did there? Do you want to beat lands, which probably you need the Force of Vigors, and it's probably better against Delver, so you expect that in more competitive metagames. We can run it back too if people still want to watch. Let me think. Storm, like I hate Mindbreak Trap as a card. I think like good players can play around it. Typically, that's why I don't play that card. I do change it up every once in a while. There are certain people who will relay to their archetypes what I am playing and what's in my sideboard. I've had that happen. So that's why I tend to change it up because I guess it's like kind of like sniping, right? This is like pretty bad. We're on the play too. Yeah, no way. Oof. I don't think I want to go to 5 is the problem. Yeah, I'm probably keeping this. To my chagrin. I don't know what my opponent like. I know I've played against them recently. I don't remember what they're on. Typically, I would have stopped here already, but it's like fairly early in the night, so I mean, for the stream, right? We just see where we get with this third league, and then if we end it short, we end it short if need be. Oh my god. Looks like we're gonna lose game one. This does happen. This is why I don't play four natural orders, by the way. I'm like tempted to play Yoran, but it's kind of memey, like in the sense that Elves doesn't even really take advantage of your Orion. But the advantage would be like you draw less of these kind of hands. We just fetch. Like if they have the removal, so be it. We're like pretty far behind already. Yikes. We kind of want them to wasteland the Cradle, to be honest. Like that's probably the best case for us. Yeah, that's pretty bad for us. If I were them, I would have bolted it earlier. Maybe they thought we were baiting it. Yeah, this is like really bad for us now. Like, we drew the awkward hand against the deck that we cannot afford to. It's probably days too. Yep. They seem to have the old Delver list. Maybe it's like a chain lightning list or something. Because I think I've seen 3 Delvers in a long time. Which means they're likely playing 4. Part of me just hopes it flips here, so we're just dead. Like, because we're unlikely to win from the spot. We're probably dead on board, to be honest, from this board state. I guess endurance makes it so that we're not completely dead. Okay, now we're dead. Yeah, it's funny too. I said it a while ago before people started doing it. I was like, man, I think Delver is the worst card in the deck now. And lo and behold, that didn't take long for Bullwinkle and yourself and others to quickly realize that. Isaac is a very good player. For those of you who don't know, Bullwinkle, I don't remember the numbers in his name, but I don't know. I think Bob was like kind of insane with DRC, but maybe the argument is just DRC is really good. I granted, like it may be the deck too, right? Like the deck we're playing, but I found Bobble to be extremely annoying. God. Oh man, this is like tough. I kind of want the removal, but at the same time, like the rest of the hand becomes real awkward. I think we kind of have to. Yeah, Delver is also good against Elves, so there's that. Although Delver is not what it once was against our deck. It used to be very good. Now it's like kind of medium-ish. Yeah, endurance like really changes things in my opinion. And not only that, just the clock of elves is just so much faster than what it once was. Whereas sometimes it can eke out a win even when you stabilize. Whereas now, like you can even when you stabilize, you have a quick turnaround with Shepherd and Cradle activation. Whereas before, especially before Reclaimer, sometimes like you flood the board and then you're at 5 and you just cannot stop the bleeding, so to speak. I think here. I think we have to fetch Bayou. The reason being is because otherwise we're just conceding the trophy's dead. Or they kill the Burst Lord, right? Not to mention we're gonna play the Cradle anyway, so if they have the Wasteland, they have the Wasteland. A Braid? Oh, I haven't seen that card in a while. There's a video of one of my buddies from my LGS who doesn't play on Moto much, granted, but blowing me out before Delver with old versions of Delver with this card. Oh my god. Okay, I thought he was gonna. Yeah, so at my LGS, he'll make fun of me because I got, blown the you know what out because of that card before. What is going on? It's glitching. There you go. Yeah, the few times I played against my friend, and because he doesn't play Moto much, shuffle is a good sign. Damn. Gut shot meta is low key kind of annoying for elves, but what can you do? Submerges just feels real bad though. All right, we have no choice but to do it now. We just hope now they don't wasteland our cradle, and then we draw a 1-drop and we just go off. What's a 3-drop? Okay, so they're digging. Like, we absolutely need to hit a creature here because we can't just do nothing the next turn. This problem is gonna. The problem is this is gonna reload like pretty quickly. So this is only like a. It's a time walk if you can follow it up with pressure, and then chain into another one. So I like to chain endurances against Delver, but if you whiff here, it's it's almost like a silence instead of a time walk. Oh, that's annoying. Yikes. So again, the damage doesn't really matter. We need to protect our own life points. Yikes. On my logo behind me. One sec. What do you mean by that, York? No, it's. Oh, so they're gonna cast a Murktide here? That's fine. I guess we hope they don't have the force. Or the days, I guess. Like, we can't. We have to cast this here. We can't do nothing. Nice. Can we just draw creatures? This is not bad, though. This is definitely not bad. I think in this situation, they're missing an instant to attack. Yeah, I think I want to bash. And try to start applying pressure. No, I think 3/4s are huge in this matchup, Levi. Like they can't beat it a lot of times. This is like single handedly the strongest creature in the matchup, and I don't think it's close too. They just need Murtai, yeah, but we're gonna bog pretty soon. Like, ugh, okay, so good thing we attacked then. Jeez, that is kind of insane. I know I'm being a little dramatic, but that was quite the turn for our opponent. We might lose now. This is like very dangerous territory now. How did they? Man, that's kind of brutal. Did we mull this game? Maybe. Yeah, we did. I was like, how come we feel so behind? Dang, unholy heat with a sick reclaimer unable to bog. It feels bad. I don't think we care about that. But the DRC again, like showing its power against elves. That's actually not bad. Oh. The first heat was livable. The second heat was backbreaking, like in the same turn. I'm not used to my 3/4s dying to Delver opponents. It's like, man, I wish people played Lightning Bolt. Although to be fair, he usually does not connect against elves. It just so happened it was the exact turn that we wanted to attack with Delver. I mean, Reclaimer. This is like kind of insane. That is a mistake by them. So Delver's gonna flip. We need to absolutely get this thing off the board. Unless, yeah, I think we need to trade here. That feels like a mistake by them. All right, they're absolutely gonna reveal something. I'm just curious what they're gonna reveal. Is all. If they reveal Murktide, that's gonna be. Maybe it was a Murktide then. That's fine. Sure. You gotta be kidding me. This is actually very close now. That's probably counter magic. Snapcaster? God, man. In an aggro deck. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's good deck building, but they're getting rewarded there. Oh, man. I think we have to play it to block bounce. I mean, it tilts me sometimes when I see like very questionable deck building, and then the opponent gets rewarded. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think we lost. Oh, this is kind of brutal. Like I thought we were pretty favored to win, and then two unholy heats, which I don't know if that's the. I don't think that's the norm, but and usually it's hard to turn on too. Given I think we already bogged by that point. I don't remember exactly, but no, we bogged afterwards. Ooh, that is shoot. Hi. Um, let's see what they did. Iteration. What? I think we have to main. Well, we can upkeep. I guess. I think we do it now. Hey, Runcore, how's it going? People have been a big fan of the new overlay. Oh my god. This is Jesus. Alright. I do not think this is like normal what had just happened. Like Snapcaster, like randomly being good there, which is not like stock at all. Which not typically not where you want to be to, in my opinion, in a Delver deck because it's probably a liability in the mirror. Um, the two unholy heats too. I think most lists at most run two, and a lot don't even run unholy heat, and we just got like blown out by them, or just yeah, pretty much blown out. I don't think there's a way to sugarcoat it. I don't know, man. Like needing 3 mana is a lot in the mirror. Like I've seen some lists run 2 heats, but I think are those the saga lists? I don't remember, but snap is not definitely not normal, and it just was absolutely nuts there. I just I think snap is like suspect in the mirror. That's why, because you need minimum 3 mana, and I don't think that's like easy in the mirror when both sides are like wastelanding like crazy. It's why 1 mana threats in the past, like Angler, or Hootie Mandros, have been very good in the past because they're 1 mana. And trying to get the 3 mana, I mean, I think you just give up a lot of points to. Oh, we played against them earlier. I think they were on Delver, if I recall. I mean, it happens. Let me okay now we're getting on this topic. Like now I'm curious. What is the if I Google the first Delver or UR Temple list? How many unholy heats? So Javier Dominguez here. He is running 0, and I know I've seen at least 2, but like 0 there. So I don't know. Like I don't think I'm gonna worry too much about it. I guess. Gut shot is stock. I didn't complain about gut shot. The Snapcaster is not. So one thing Runcore I noticed is. Oh, actually, I think I know what Jorg is referring to now. Here, let's see if that works. Oh, too high. I think that so otherwise it's covering my face. I think that's what Jorg was referring to earlier. I will fix that in a sec. 1 second. Okay, they're on a different list now. As a rule of thumb, you want to go with the redundant piece, unless they're like super high priority. All right, maybe that's better. In the words of Dwight Schrute, that's better. Or actually, that would be Jim Halpert from The Office, mimicking Dwight. For those of you who don't know, The Office is my all-time favorite show. Don't tell me they are on some kind of weird. Okay, thank goodness. If they start casting my green sun, it's gonna be one of those nights, I guess. I've actually had it happen from that 4C loam deck that Ragavan me and then cast my green sun. That was quite tilting. Which one is the simpler one? I don't remember. Runcore. We can talk afterwards. I just don't remember off the top of my head. I want to block. These are like the little joys that I get from Ragavan, where they like dodge a great draw, a bad draw for me. It's the little victories in life. Murktide? Yeah, looks like it is. 4/4 Murktide. I don't think I am care. Yeah. We bounce here because we want a glimpse. This is a pretty cool line. Uh, unfortunately, it's awkward. We have to. Well, I guess we don't have to. Yeah, I think we just kill the Murktide. Might as well. That way we can protect our Grist, right? We'll trade with the Ragavan now, or force them to use removal. We're definitely blocking now. Usually, elf players are not too familiar with using planeswalkers, but it's kind of nice now. Sure. I think this game is pretty much over. Stifle? Oh, okay, that makes some sense, I guess. Interesting. How was it the Green Sun deck, or was it something else? Uh, Runcore. Mm. Yeah, I think if they're like a more control old school like Dirtle blue deck with like a million removal spells, probably Seize is pretty good there. Seize is less good when they like run a bunch of creatures. Um, Something I just did. Okay, actually no, that's fine. What did we see that match? Ragavan, Narset, and like I don't even know what else. Uh, Ooh, that's an old title. I should change that. How do I change that? Yeah, usually, it just occurred to me. I changed the titles with the old software program that I use, but then with the overlay, what's it called, with the overlay. I should figure out how to do that now with the new way. So that's on the to-do list, I guess. We didn't even see really much from our opponent. I don't think. Like Ragavan, and then like a Murktide, probably some kind of tempo-ish decks. I just yeah, it's probably safe. But yeah, I will fix that. The thing is wrong. The title. I'll do that right now. Twitch TV. Okay, I'll figure it out later. Edit stream. That is a mean card. Uh, in this situation, I actually want them to kill the druid, so I'm just gonna run that out. Edit stream info. So what we're gonna do is this thing can only kill us. Ooh, that's pretty good, but exposes us to wasteland and daze. I think we just have to do it now and hope they don't have it. Actually, no. I'm gonna do it on their upkeep. So I'm looking at the settings that you said, Runcore. I cannot find it. Well, yeah, maybe it's fine. I don't want to waste chat's time. Oh, these visionaries feel real bad now. Why they gotta do that to me? I found these like mid-rangey blue decks to be sometimes annoying in the sense that like it's harder to sideboard against them because like if you, sometimes you draw the wrong part of your deck. What I mean by that is like they have these mid-range threats, and then you can't just board and all remove because sometimes they just draw the sweepers or whatever, and it's like 50-50, right? Like, I mean, I think I still feel favored of them against them because like only certain cards matter. It's just like you have to guess like how they boarded instead, whereas other times it's like pretty straightforward. Probably hit the arbor. If they have removal, they probably hit the bayou, and they kill the reclaimer. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Did they mess up? If they don't have removal, they definitely messed up because this kills the Narset. Yeah, they messed up. They needed to take out the arbor there, and I think that might have just cost them the game. Yeah, I guess the mentor version is what I'm talking about. Oh, that's why they wanted to get greedy and kill the arbor too, but I don't know if that's worth it to be honest. Oh my God, Murktide? Jeez, it's quite the hand. So they were able to chain Lavamancer into Narset into Murktide while being on the play. I'm not sure we play around that because the other line would have been to kind of ignore the Lavamancer for a while and then just play your Visionaries and then just try to go wide. The problem with that is then they get a lot of value off the Lavamancer. It's kind of strange, right? Because they have Regent and then it's kind of a combo with Lavamancer. But I mean, it kind of worked out for them here because we respected the Lavamancer. Maybe it's possible we just ignore it. We're probably just dead. Like I don't think we have an out. They should attack, by the way. There's no way we're blocking. I should have attacked. If they block, that's good for us. Yeah, see, them not attacking actually buys us one other turn now. And maybe that matters. I didn't bounce my Visionary because I need the mana for the Cradle, by the way. That is the reasoning for that. Alright, we can draw. Oh, there's our trophy. Nice. Oh, I forgot it turns on that. Okay, that's dumb of me. Alright, now I'm just dead. The reason why I'm leading with heritage, I'm assuming the first thing dies. They probably kept the one liner based on the shuffle. The reason why I fetched Bayous here is because I want to grow the Reclaimer out of like Pyroclasm type range. If they have that kind of card. Yeah, so I explained this earlier. At the beginning of the season, I completely forgot. In our first league, we ran into multiple combo decks, and it's because at the beginning of the season, people like to get their name on the leaderboard while it's easy to be at the top, right? If you win one, you're like second or whatever already. It shows at the top. So I think people like seeing that, and there's like a lot of combo at the beginning of the season, the first few days. So I switched to Leyline because of that specifically. I don't want to just throw matches again for reasons that I don't need to. You can still beat graveyard decks. It's just harder if they know you're not playing it. Sure. Actually, that was a mistake by me. I should have played the fetch, and then because I only have no, I don't have any more fetchables. Is the problem? So I'm gonna lose a real land here. That was a hopefully not costly mistake. Yeah, the line here is play the fetch and crack the reclaimer for the fetch and get a cradle there. Maybe it doesn't matter because we might have to bog preemptively anyways. But yeah, it feels bad though if you draw another land that's not usable, like another fetch, or draw cradle. Interesting. I think we have to preemptively bog here, based on what I'm seeing. Yeah, see, we could have pitched the fetch. Now all our other fetches are dead, just on how it's playing out. Interesting. They may force it? Yeah, it looks like it. Ooh, I'm regretting this pretty big time right now. I think it was a punt on their end. We played against this opponent earlier in the night. They were playing Blue Red Delver and made a few questionable plays. They're also low, very low on clock, so it's more inexperienced than anything else. Although they're playing quicker here now. They were 10 minutes behind earlier. There's only 4. But we still have to activate on the off chance that they're just that was their line. Our draws have been pretty anemic, unfortunately. Like Heritage is the worst card that we have in post board, and we've drawn 2 of them. Ooh, we are a turn off the endurance. Um, man. We can't get the endurance now because if they have the Murktide, they cast it. It's too late. That's pretty good though. This is gonna probably haunt me later that this is dead because we could have played it and then pitched it to the reclaimer, and then instead of have another land. Right, we would have extra force in our hand. Okay, thank goodness. We actually want them to trade removal for our worst creature. We trade in a heartbeat if they attack. Oh my god, man, we can't play around days here because of the. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, man. No, I like spaced out. Uh, that's probably a time. That's probably a sign. It's time. This is the last match. Oh my god. Ugh. That's like really bad by me. Like we even have the like trophy here. Murktide? Sure. If they have double days, okay, and Warwood and a Heritage Druid. That's pretty good. Ugh, this thing is like an eyesore for me right now. What is our opponent? Maybe they have a Brazen Bar. Like I'm trying to think what they could be thinking about. I held the Heritage Druid for two reasons, by the way, on the previous turn. One is Glimpse of Nature, and two is the board is fairly even. There's no need to commit more to potential sweeper. What is going on? Maybe they have a removal spell. That doesn't work the way you think. They should have done it before the Shepherd got in play. Or I think they still get the buff, but I could be wrong. Yeah. It's probably Force of Will and Dress Down is what they had. I don't would not have fetched if I were them. I guess they brainstorm. Yeah, they did. Never mind. I take that back. They know what's on top. That's why. Hopefully they don't have like a sweeper here. Okay. The funny thing is, if they do sweep, they still have to attack with the DRC. So potentially the heritage gets there. Yeah, it's like volley or bust now, right? Or actually, there's that new card that replaces volley. I forgot what it's called. Coming out from this set. Lost connection. Nice. All right, I think that's me missing that cage is a sign. It's probably getting late. That I'm tired. It's almost 12 anyways, so probably a good place to stop here, to be honest. Um, we went 2-3 in the first league, 4-1 in the second league, and then 1-1 here so far. I think the deck is probably fine. I lost to some variance in my opinion. I did beat Delver a few times too. I think overall we went like I think 2-2 or 3-2 against Delver. 50 to 60% is not. I'm about to end actually the Dudges. We won despite my playing into a cage. It almost like helped us because we ended up keeping the Assassin's Trophy for the Murktide, but better lucky than good. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we went. I think either 2-2 or 3-2. I don't remember. Against the blue red variants today, 50 to 60%, in my opinion, it's probably not good enough. But we did get a little unlucky. It should be closer to ideally 70 to 80%. 80 is probably not realistic to be honest. Probably like 70% is ideal. 60 to 70% instead of 50 to 60%. Um, Anybody have any questions for me before I sign off, or any recommendations for who I raid? I'll bring up the deck again just for whoever's curious. The main deck is like pretty stock. I don't think I would change anything. Um, Part of me almost wants to cut an Allosaurus shard because of how bad it is against the non-blue decks, but it is very good against the Chalice and and in your worst one of your worst or previously worst matchups, Doomsday. It's like the best card, so probably not doing that. I think it main deck endurance is just like saves sideboard spots. My game one is like probably weaker to other decks than other elf builds, but I think my sideboard is like insane against combo. Yeah, Assassin's Trophy real good right now. Um, Nothing much besides that. I think Wasteland is didn't really come up today. We didn't play against any Saga decks. Everything else like was we didn't play Progenitus either because what is it called? We didn't run into any control res day one or day two, I guess, of the new season. Crop was let me think. It came up against the Elf Mirror that we won, but wasn't relevant there because we already had Cradle. But otherwise, I think it's like decent. Maybe it should be just Force of Vigor, even in this kind of metagame where there's a lot of combo. Hard to say though. I think overall, like not great, but not the worst stream today. Thanks for everybody for coming by. I know there was some technical difficulties, but I guess we ironed it out. I'll raid, I guess, mental. Okay, there's a Patreon night. Let's see. Okay, so for those of you, since it's day one of Crimson Vow, what would you guys like to see? Drafts? Okay, somebody's doing the modern trophy race. That seems kind of interesting. So I'll raid this PT bench, unless there's any objection.